Right, good afternoon, everybody. It's 2 o'clock, so I think we'll start, and as people join in, they can join in this afternoon's event. Welcome to UKZN's Environmental Engineering 21st reunion. My name is Sally Frost. I'm the Public Relations Manager for the College of Agriculture, Engineering and Science. And I'm acting as your technical host this afternoon because we're online on Zoom. I'm sure you're all very used to Zoom, but just to give some pointers, please make sure you're muted so we don't have background noise. If you want to save data, have your video off. You can toggle on the top right of your screen between speaker view and gallery view. I would recommend speaker view. Please make use of the chat facility at the bottom of your screen where you can talk to each other while the event carries on and post questions. And then just to say, we are recording this afternoon's celebration, and we will share it with you afterwards so that you can send it to people who couldn't be here with us today. Let me just share the program with you before we get going. So we'll start with a welcome by the one and only Professor Cristina Trois. Then we will move on to a video that has been compiled on 21 years of environmental engineering in South Africa and the world. Then we'll move on to a virtual discussion about shaping the discourse on environmental sustainability. And we have some interesting speakers here that Christina will introduce to you. Then we'll have some time for some open floor discussion, Q&A with all of you who are here. And then we will bring the program to a close. So I think without further ado, I'll hand over to Christina to give the official welcome. Christina, over to you.
Yes, hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning in certain cases, and good evening for those who are already towards the night. So I can see it's really amazing. I'm already becoming very emotional to see all of you have answered our call, answered our invitation, and you are all here. It's amazing to see that all of our students have joined in. So first and foremost, welcome back to some of you. I can see there are colleagues and graduates linking from Italy, I can see from Australia, from of course from Durban, from Cape Town, and all over the world. So great, it's really great to see you guys. And then let me say thank you very much to our guest speakers today. I will, of course, introduce you a bit better soon after the video. But again, thank you for making yourself available, Neil, Makobetsa, Pierguido, and Glen Wright. Thanks a lot. Before we start the proceedings, a special thank to Dr. Sally Frost, who has really assisted me in everything, every step from the idea to today. So Sally, thanks. You and your team are great. I can see Christine is here. I can see also Swasti will hopefully join in. So again, thank you very much. And a special thank to Vanji Lewis, who is the filmmaker who produced the video that we are going to show you just now. So thanks again, and I am sure it will be a great event. Sally, over to you.
Right, we're going to start with a video that we've put together. We sent out a call asking everyone to give feedback on their memories of their time at UKZN and what they're doing now with their lives. And we've compiled that into a video, which we would like to share with you.
Welcome to the first 21-year reunion of environmental engineering students and graduates at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. I am Professor Cristina Trois, I'm Professor in Environmental Engineering and SARChI Chair in Waste and Climate Change. We are here today to celebrate 21 years of pioneering in environmental engineering in South Africa and in the world. And what better way to do it by reconnecting with you, the students and the graduates of UKZN, and asking how you've been shaping or are shaping the discourse in environmental sustainability over the past 21 years. I cannot believe that 21 years have passed since we introduced environmental engineering at the University of KwaZulu-Natal and in South Africa. And so I decided that there was a need to reconnect with the students, learning how they've been shaping the discourse in environmental sustainability over the years. So I've decided to organize a webinar. And I've invited some friends that have been really instrumental over the years to support the environmental engineering program at UKZN. During the webinar, we will discuss how you have been shaping the discourse in environmental sustainability over the years, but also will be an opportunity to reconnect with you and to know how you've been doing over the past 21 years. Some of you may be still in environmental engineering, others may have been shaping the world in other ways. What do I want to achieve with this reunion? Well, yes, of course, to meet with you again and reconnect. But most importantly, I would like to create a network, a platform of collaboration among pioneers in environmental engineering to transition the future generation of students and graduates into the profession. And now we're going to hear from the graduates how they've been shaping the world for the past 21 years.
Hi everyone, Aidan Bowers here. I'm from the class of 1999. Started my master's in 2000, so I was one of Christina's first ever students. So it really gives me great pleasure to be here 21 years later, and congratulations, Christina. I'm still very much involved in the waste sector. I'm based in Cape Town at the moment and doing work all over South Africa and Africa. We're doing some very interesting work in Rwanda at the moment. So, you know, to all the students out there, this is a great career. What I'd like to get out of this wonderful alumni network is just the fact that, you know, we can't do this on our own. We need to co-create solutions to some of the big problems that we're facing as humanity. And at the micro, you know, there's problems that each of us need to solve in our communities that we can't do alone. So, you know, by using this network and leveraging off all the skills that we all have and the unique talents, we can only make this world a better place. So yes, congratulations again, Christina, and it will be great to see you virtually on Monday, and all the best. Cheers.
Good morning from England, United Kingdom. I'm John T Olefson. I was one of Christina's first master's students. I graduated in April 2003 after moving to the United Kingdom. My thesis was on the use of constructed wetlands to polish landfill leachate after biological treatment in a sequencing batch reactor. My message to future students is to enjoy your time at university. It'll be some of the best years of your life. Throw yourself into your work, build your passion and enthusiasm. When you leave university, maintain your ethics and integrity as an engineer in what you'll find is a very competitive and commercial world.
Greetings everyone, my name is Claudia L Lloyd. I moved to South Africa, 10 years ago to join Christina's team as a postdoc researcher working on green buildings and green infrastructure in South Africa. Since then my life changed completely. I'm currently working as a senior lecturer at the School of Built Environment and Development Studies. I'm both teaching and conducting research, and I'm involved in several research projects in the field of sustainable development and green infrastructure. I want to tell something to the future environmental engineers. Guys, you did the right choice joining Christina's team. You not only you will be part of a very vibrant research group, but is also a beautiful family that will give you support and will help you to make the real change, because be sure that the impact of your work through your research is huge. You will see that.
Good afternoon. My name is Makobetsa and I'm a current master student. My topic is on developing a food waste management system for dewated pots utilizing the ROSE model, with the objectives of developing an aerobic digestion for agri-zone at dewated pots and developing of quality standards for digestate that's a byproduct. This project would shape sustainability discourse by encouraging adoption of anaerobic digestion in the commercial sector and the development of legislation concerning anaerobic digestion.
Hi everyone, congratulations Prof Trois on 21 years. That's a massive milestone. So congratulations to you and your team. My name is Winston Woodenberg and I did a postdoctoral fellowship in Prof Trois's lab around 2018 to 2019. Currently, I am a scientist at the SANBI, that's the South African National Biodiversity Institute here in Durban. And my message to environmental engineering students is to make every single day count. A successful life is a succession of successful years. A successful year is a succession of successful months. A successful month is a succession of successful days. So make every single day count. Make every single day count and your studies will be a success and you'll have a successful life. So all the best.
Hi, my name is Priya R. I'm a transportation engineer and smart mobility specialist at a company called Go Metro based in Cape Town, South Africa. My career involves designing sustainable mobility systems for cities around the world and looking at how we can decrease the carbon footprint and sustainably move people where they need to go.
Hi, I'm Osman. I'm with Bosch Projects and I'm based in Durban. I am the current CISA YPF National Vice Chairperson and I graduated with Prof at the end of 2014 with Masters. I am really looking forward to networking and learning more from the rest of you guys. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Yemisi Ilade. I graduated from UKZN in 2010. I graduated with a master's in environmental engineering and Professor Christina was my supervisor. Currently, I'm in Ontario, Canada. I work as an independent contractor. I consult and work as a project manager. So right now my focus is on digital transformation with advanced technologies as artificial intelligence, big data analytics, cloud computing, and Internet of Things. I had a wonderful experience with Professor Christina. During my time at graduate school, she was very supportive, very understanding. I mean, you know, as a supervisor, she was always there for me to talk to. And looking back through my journey and my career, I can actually say she made it easier for me to navigate my learning at the early stage of my career. So I celebrate her visionary work for these many years in environmental engineering, especially in waste management.
Good afternoon, my name is Lloyd and I'm a current master's student. My current research is based on building a framework for a sustainable African city of the future. I am based in Durban at Howard College. My research is helping shape the discourse of sustainability by encouraging different stakeholders, which are municipalities and residences, to incorporate sustainable living in their lifestyles and operations.
I'm Joseph Kapuku Boapua. I graduated under the supervision of Professor Trois. and Prof Attache in 2019 in April. My PhD study was based on producing a low carbon jet fuel from a marine algae species. From this gathering, I'm expecting to build up more collaborations, more networks, more friendships. To the future researchers, I just require you to throw yourself to the water. Learn how to swim in the water. Learning is a process. It could be a painful process, but the more you learn, the more you grow. And the more you grow, the more you become better. My motto is, if you can dream it, you can achieve it.
Hi, I am Dr. Surabhi S and I am from India. In 2019, I graduated with a PhD in civil engineering under the esteemed supervision of Prof Trois. Now I am in my second year of postdoc under the SARChI Chair in Waste and Climate Change group. I'm very proud and happy to be part of this group. Fortunately, this group belongs to Prof Trois. I have strong belief that environmental engineering has power to sustain the world during the climate change events. At last, I would say that thank you, Prof, for shaping my career and unconditional support and love. I wish you a very happy birthday and many more 21 prosperous years.
Hi everybody, my name is Samira K. I am a PhD student with Prof Trois. I am also a researcher in her group. My current focus is on developing climate change stabilization within the Garden Route District municipality. I work particularly with the ROSE model. I've been with Prof Trois for a number of years so far, and I can gladly say that she's been quite the inspiration and an amazing woman to work with. I recommend for future students, put your faith in Prof Trois. She knows what she's doing, and she will really help you reach your fullest potential. Congratulations, Prof, on 21 years. We wish you all the best and many more in the future.
Hi everyone, my name is Andrea D, and I'm from Cagliari, the same hometown as Prof Trois in the lovely island of Sardinia, Italy, as you can see behind me. While finishing my master's in environmental engineering in Italy, in 2017 I first came to Durban for a short internship, and then Prof Trois offered me the chance to return for my PhD. So here I am, back in KZN. I'm researching the advancement of a double-stage anaerobic digestion system that treats organic feedstocks from the municipal waste streams, such as food waste and garden refuse. The ultimate goal of my research is to develop the technology so that it can be introduced as a novel scenario in the ROSE model and help South African municipalities choose and localize the most appropriate waste management system. I'd like to thank Prof Trois for believing in me and seeing my potential even beyond what I could see. To future or prospective students, I would say, trust Prof Trois. It's not going to be easy. She will push you and put you in uncomfortable spots, but these experiences will make you grow, become more competent students or researchers, and, more importantly, more mature people. Follow her lead, and many good things will come from it. Thank you again, Prof. I wish you at least 21 more years of successful career and happy birthday.
Hi, my name is Yasil M. I completed my MSc in 2014 and I'm currently based in Durban. I would say that due to the nature of consultancy, I haven't been directly involved in the sustainability space over the last 7 years. However, I do believe that the principles of sustainability have shaped my perspective in both design and construction, and it's allowed me to consider issues more holistically and to develop better solutions.
Good day everyone, my name is Natanya S. I'm a professional civil engineer and I'm currently based at Mpumalanga, practicing at Mpumalanga as a professional engineer. I completed my PhD in 2020 under the supervision of Professor Cristina Trois and Professor Telahim Wagner. My area of research focused on biogas production through a renewable process by ensuring the use of renewable substance, just as cassava. I would like to thank Professor Cristina Trois for the opportunity she gave me, the guidance and the direction she gave the research, it enabled us to come up with a conclusive research on the aspect of biogas.
Hello everyone, hi Christina, this is Vittorio from the beautiful city of Cagliari in Italy. And just to prove that, you can see from here the historic district of Castello, and if you turn on your left also, you should also see the beautiful Mediterranean Sea. So, let me introduce myself. My name is Vittorio Tramontin. I am a building engineer and currently I work as a sustainability and green building consultant in Italy. I was a postdoc under the supervision of Professor Trois at the UKZN for about 2 years before joining the School of Engineering as a lecturer and later as a senior lecturer until mid-2018. And let me conclude just by wishing Christina all the very best for at least further 50 years in pioneering in engineering all around the world. And most of all by wishing her happy birthday. And also a big hug to all my former colleagues and the staff of the School of Engineering. I really miss you all and hope to see you soon. Bye!
My name is Jonathan Olalo Gwang, and I'm from Uganda. I'm a multidisciplinary engineer with the skills, experience and a passion to contribute to solving Africa and the world's waste, water and energy problems. I'm currently an engineer and a managing member at Africa Clean Project, which is a small consultancy which was set up to achieve the aforementioned goals. I'm also part of a design team under the Umgeni's Resilience Project, where we are tasked with designing a green estate and 2 bridges to alleviate the effects of and combat climate change. And lastly, I'm also a project engineer at Defy Appliances, where we're developing improved biogas appliances. I greatly acknowledge Prof Cristina Trois, who beyond the supervision of my master's and undergraduate theses, has supported me unconditionally throughout my career. She has always been there for me. She has always been available to pick up my calls, my late night calls, my persistent messages to talk about things like feces. She has given me the chance to grow and learn at something I really love and placed a lot of trust in me. She has always, and I believe will always be there for me. I wish her many more years and many more individuals whose lives she can positively change and to continue to leave a mark on this world of environmental engineering. Happy birthday, Professor Cristina Trois.
Hi everyone, my name is Giselle M. I had just graduated with my civil engineering degree in 2019 when the pandemic hit. I decided to make use of my time in lockdown and be part of the first batch of Prof Trois's Waste and Resource Management coursework masters. My dissertation focused on the optimization of construction and demolition waste recovery systems within the eThekwini municipality. With Prof Trois's helpful guidance, I was able to complete my dissertation and I soon started working for JG Africa. Here, I am part of the JG Africa and USAID Resilient Waters team, where we are currently developing the National Fecal Waste Management Strategy for South Africa. I have also taken the role as a researcher to conduct a needs assessment of gender integration for sanitation partners in Africa, funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. This will gather information on how to better facilitate women in the sanitation sector and reduce economic exclusion. I am truly grateful for all the opportunities Prof Trois has given me with completing my master's with her. I wish her all the success for the future.
Hello, I'm Johara Khan, and I'm doing my master's in Waste and Resource Management at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. I'm also a scholar of Johnson & Johnson's Women in STEM 2D program. My research area is solid waste pollution in the Umgeni River in KwaZulu-Natal. And when this waste isn't managed properly, it washes into the Indian Ocean. And so in order to deal with this problem, Durban Green Corridors has installed a series of litter booms, which are floating pipes at key locations along the width of the river in order to collect waste. And I aim to characterize this waste and then determine where it ends up after sorting. Subsequently, I hope to unlock potential routes for plastic waste treatment and valorization. My research will also be rooted in the wider context of climate change. I'm honored to be one of Prof Trois's students and by extension a part of this invaluable network, and I hope it leads to potential work and research collaborations. Thank you, Prof Trois, for the many opportunities, and a very happy birthday to you.
Hi everyone, my name is Makobetsa. I studied at the University of KwaZulu-Natal and graduated with a BSc in Civil Engineering in April 2012. I'm currently residing and working in the Kingdom of Eswatini as a projects engineer for the Eswatini Water Services Corporation. Under this portfolio, I'm responsible for planning and managing projects for wastewater treatment plant throughout the country. I'm currently pursuing my postgraduate degree at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, where I enrolled for an MSc in Waste and Resources Management. Under this master's degree, I'll be undertaking a project titled The Feasibility of Treating Heavy Metals Present in Industrial Wastewater Sludge as Found in Matapa Wastewater Treatment Plant in Eswatini and the Disposal thereof. I would like to send out my gratitude, especially to Prof Trois, who afforded me the opportunity to further develop my engineering waste management skills and to expand my professional network. Thank you very much.
I must say that environmental engineering has been always very popular over the years, with the students from India, from Southern Africa, from North Africa, from Italy, from Europe in general, from UK, even from the US, and some of them stayed in South Africa. So they joined the profession or they became academics at UKZN or in other South African universities. Some of them instead came back to their own countries and became ambassadors of environmental engineering. We at UKZN are so proud of what the environmental engineering graduates have achieved over the years. We have a really global footprint. Our students come from everywhere in the world, and they have gone everywhere in the world to practice environmental engineering. The recipe for success has 3 ingredients: good collaborators, good students, and of course, good sponsors. So I would like to acknowledge the colleagues and the collaborators that have assisted us over the years, my co-supervisors, and of course our sponsors. Without you, it would have not been such an incredible journey. And finally, last but not least, I would like to thank you, the students and the graduates of environmental engineering at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Without you, this would have not been possible. So let us not wait other 21 years before meeting again. Let us create a network, a platform of collaboration of all the UKZN alumni in environmental engineering, so that we can open a discussion, we can support each other, and most importantly, we can assist our present students to transition into successful environmental practitioners or environmental engineers. Most importantly, we can continue shaping the environmental sustainability discourse for many years to come.
I hope you all enjoyed that. I must say, if I had so many people that I know I had impacted their lives so positively, I would be very proud. So well done, Prof Trois. And I'm sure you all picked up all those mentions of happy birthdays. And if you didn't know, it's not only the 21st anniversary for environmental engineering, it's also a very important day for Christina. I won't give the secret exactly what day, but it's one of those important decades that one has in one's life. So happy birthday, Christina.
No, it's not a decade, it's only 25.
We'll now move on to the panel discussion, shaping the discourse in environmental sustainability. Our speakers are Prof Trois. We have Prof Glen, the Dean and Head of School of Engineering. We have Prof Neil Koorbanally, the Dean of Research in the college. We have Dr. Makobetsa Khati, who's the Executive Director for Research Chairs and Centers of Excellence at the National Research Foundation. And we have Dr. Pierguido Sarti from the Italian Embassy Scientific Attache. So Christina, I will hand over to you to lead the discussion.
Yes, thank you very much, Sally. And again, you could see how emotional I was in the later part of the video. This is not a celebration of, this is really not a self-celebration. It's actually a celebration of incredible talent that we have, that UKZN has generated over the years. And so I think something to really be proud of. And in fact, talking about UKZN, I would like to first, before starting the discussion and the webinar, to acknowledge the presence of our Deputy Vice Chancellor for Research, Professor Albert Modi, who has been able to join us. I don't know if you are still in the house, Albert. I can't see you. There are too many people.
I'm here, Christina.
In the house. Yes, say hello. And we would love you to say a few words. Can you see the amazing talent that I have prepared for you? These are all our graduates, and as you can see, really incredible African and not only African talent that are making the difference all around the world. So that is thanks to the support from the college. I would like to also acknowledge other colleagues that have joined in from UKZN. I could see Muthu Kumarasamy, Professor Kumarasamy, Professor Viranjay Sivastrava, Professor Christina McLeod. I've seen also Dr. Thomas Mani from the Ocean Cleanup, who has joined us, and Professor Frederic Coulon from Cranfield University. Again, welcome to our webinar. So let's start the discussion. With your permission, Glen, Neil, and Makobetsa, I would like to present, I've prepared a short presentation of what we are as a group, as a research group, and also the future of our research. I don't know if Albert, do you want to join the discussion, or do you want to maybe say a few words at the beginning, just as a... Albert, are you still there? Are you still with us?
Yes, I'm not sure why I'm getting disconnected occasionally, but yeah, I'm listening, Christina. I can hear everything. I'm here.
Okay, so join in and contribute if you anytime you want. Okay, stop us if we are saying something that you don't agree with.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So again, welcome, and the work at the moment in our group is all focused on specifically mitigating the climate impacts of the waste sector, but really has been a very long journey since 1999 when I first started at the University of Natal at that time, and then of course KwaZulu-Natal later on. And it's been really I still, maybe I'm boasting a bit, but certainly at that time, the concepts of environmental sanitary engineering were not very strongly entrenched into civil engineering or into engineering as a whole at that time. So I must say we have worked very hard to make our voice count over the years. And that has not been done in isolation or focused only on research. It's been done really with the contribution of the private sector, the contribution of government, and so it's been really a growth, a collective growth, I would say, and a lot of knowledge transfer has happened among academia and, as I said, private sector and government. So I'd like to acknowledge very important contributors and supporters over the years. Definitely the Department of Science and Innovation that supports the SARChI Chair in Waste and Climate Change through the RDI Waste Roadmap program, the National Research Foundation, CSR, of course, the University of KwaZulu-Natal, the Department of Minerals, Resources and Energy through SANEDI, and the International Waste Working Group that are really the main bodies that support our work. Now, the SARChI Chair in Waste and Climate Change is the purpose of the SARChI Chair is to create a national and international pole of excellence in research, development, and innovation on the climate impacts from and on the waste sector, with particular focus on mitigating these impacts. So our work is in a way subdivided into two main areas, which is research, development, and innovation, and capacity development. With respect to research, we work on 4 focus areas. The first one is climate impacts associated with the generation and disposal of waste. Focus area 2 is measures and technologies on control, management, and treatment of landfill emissions. Focus area 3 is we focus on impacts of climate change on the waste sector. So how much is the climate change is impacting on waste infrastructure, and in some cases on the failure of waste infrastructure. And we have an amazing project on this particular focus area working on plastic pollution in the Glen River with our collaborators from the Ocean Cleanup and the eThekwini municipality. And the focus area 4 has been for many years a particular interest and focus on the sustainable African city of the future. And in fact, we have created during my tenure as Dean of Engineering, the Hub for the African City of the Future. So a kind of a collective network of experts that work on sustainabilities and, most importantly, what sustainability means for the African megalopolis that we have across the African continent. With respect to capacity development, we have, of course, a very vibrant scholarship program, and we offer masters, PhD, postdoctoral fellowships. And with respect to master in particular, first in Africa, we have developed 2 coursework master programs, one in environmental engineering that was active from 2001 to 2011. And the second one, more recent, always also supported by the Department of Science and Innovation, we offer a coursework master in waste and resources management, really the only master in Africa, and certainly the only one in South Africa of its kind. So also quite an important achievement. And then we have a number of programs and community engagement programs and also collaborations with the national and international institutions. Our work aligns very strongly with national priorities. If I look at, for example, the National Research Foundation, we align with the broad category of engineering, of course, and with the focus of the National Development Plan 2030, Agenda 2030, with the various SDGs, like, for example, the SDG on climate action and the global challenge. With respect to national priority, we align strongly with poverty alleviation, job creation and transformation, and of course with a number of sustainable development goals, particularly related to sustainable cities, climate action, and affordable and green energy. I've always said that over the years, the waste management in an emerging economy such as South Africa is really a complex socio-technical challenge. So we are not really talking about engineering or providing engineering solutions. So those solutions need to be appropriate because they have a very strong impact on communities and the community at large. So we have to cater for highly urbanized needs, like the one on the left-hand side of this picture, but also with energy poverty or energy poor areas or rural areas like the one on the right-hand side. So for this reason, I think that our research has always been very grounded on reality, on what it's really needed and on appropriate solutions to solve the problem. So I started in my academic activity at UKZN, started in 1999, but with respect to research, I would say since 1997, which is the first year when I came to South Africa. The initial focus was on understanding the state of the art. I mean, what is the problem? What is the challenge? So the focus was on control, management, and treatment of landfill emissions. My first 2 students, Aidan Bowers and John T Olefson, you heard them earlier, were working on biogas, on leachate treatment, and particularly working together with the eThekwini municipality, and urban solid waste, that over the years have been a very strong partner in our work. The output of stage 1 of our research is, I would say, I'm distilling the most important outputs. We designed the first leachate treatment plant in South Africa, which is at the Maranil landfill site, and our research also was instrumental in developing the cellular method that has been adopted in most landfill sites across eThekwini, but certainly across South Africa, whereby the landfill is operating in a highly engineered way. And this is an example of the Maranil landfill site many years back. Now it's much bigger. And this landfill site was declared a conservancy area. So from one side you look at birds, and on the other side you dump waste. So just to understand, this is a natural reserve, and it's a landfill site as well. Then we moved, our focus moved more on introducing the concept of zero waste in South Africa. I had a number of students, one in particular, Dr. Intlibi Matete, one of my first PhD students, has then joined as a lecturer our civil engineering department at UKZN. And the challenge to Inclibi and to all the other students was, how do you introduce such a utopistic concept like zero waste and extreme waste minimization in a context like South Africa or the African continent, where waste management or where our municipalities really still face very important service delivery challenges. So that was stage 2 of our research, and for many years we have looked at how to best introduce zero waste in South Africa and recycling in South Africa. The important output of stage 2 was the first CDM project. CDM stands for Clean Development Mechanism project in Africa, whereby all 3 landfill sites in Durban were degassed. So biogas was harnessed from this project, sorry, from these landfills to produce 10 megawatt of electricity. So biogas to electricity project. This project was, let's say, an important milestone in Africa, because it was supported by the World Bank and was really the first project of its kind in the African continent. For stage 3, so from 2008 to 2013, we got a bit more skilled with respect to zero waste, and we started introducing real solutions and to assist the municipalities in the decision-making process for the implementation of appropriate waste management strategies and waste-to-energy technologies. And this was since the advent of the ROSE model. So this group, and in fact I must acknowledge the work of many students from Rohini Jagath, continuing with Jeman Reddy, continuing with Samira K, with Jeremy Douglas, who was an exchange student from Cambridge University. All of these students have been working really hard and are working really hard for the refinement of this waste resource optimization and scenario evaluation model that I must say is one of the main, is probably my second child, I would say brainchild really of this group. It's an important achievement because assists municipalities and in fact also private sector in applying good decision-making with respect to waste management and waste infrastructure. Most of this work continued in stage 4 up until 2017 with focus on waste and resources management. So how you can valorize waste into a resource, and the focus in the last decade, I would say, was any type of organic waste to biogas, for example, to energy, or construction and demolition waste into alternative building materials. So I'd like to acknowledge also the work done by many of my collaborators and colleagues and co-supervisors. More recently, for example, I would like to acknowledge Dr. Norma Joub, who is a senior researcher in our group, focused on alternative building materials. Dr. Frederic Coulomb is in his group in Cranfield University that really inspire our work over the years in bioenergy. Same my colleagues from Cagliari University, Professor Aldo Montoni, as well as from Padua University in Italy. They all are working, we are all working very strongly with to activate the circular economy from various waste fractions. The present research, so from 2018, I became SARChI Chair in Waste and Climate Change. So all our major focus is to mitigate the impact that the waste sector has with respect to greenhouse gas emissions, starting from assessing or quantifying greenhouse gas emissions, continuing with developing technologies for mitigating greenhouse gas emissions production from waste, and of course looking at how the city and how in fact also the waste sector and how the communities are adapting to climate change with respect to, of course, the waste sector in particular. As I said, we offer a coursework master in waste and resources management. At the moment, we have 33 students since 2020. Some of them have also just completed this master in 1 year. So we offer all our courses online due to COVID, but actually at the end, this advent of COVID was not too bad, I must say, because it enabled us, in fact, a flexibility that before we didn't have. So we now, with this course, we can reach students across the African continent and, of course, across the world. We have a number of national collaborations. I would like to acknowledge in particular the NRF supports a community of practice called the Community of Practice of Waste to Value, with the University of KwaZulu-Natal, SARChI Chair Waste and Climate Change, together with sugarcane, SARChI Chair in Sugarcane Biorefinery, Professor Anna Stark, at UCT, Professor Jochen Petersen and Professor Henry Mostert, and at the University of Western Cape, Professor Rina Schenk. All of us are part of this community of practice in waste and resources management, supported by the National Research Foundation, plus other, of course, universities that are also part of wider collaborations. I have, as you can see, a number of international collaborations with pretty much every leading university in environmental engineering in the world, specifically from North America to Australia to Europe, of course, many in Italy. And in fact, I'd like to acknowledge the Italy-South African Research Program collaboration platform, supported by, again, by the NRF and facilitated by the strong work and strong support of the Italian Embassy to South Africa in Pretoria. I'm also part, thanks to SANEDI, of the International Energy Agency, Task 36 in particular, of the IEA Bioenergy. And thanks to SANEDI, because SANEDI, in fact, is supported, the Department of Minerals, Resources and Energy is supporting my presence and our presence by virtue of this presence. Our presence as South Africa to the International Energy Agency. So thank you very much. These are some pictures of my beautiful students and collaborators. And really, it's a pleasure to have you here. And hopefully, let's see how we can continue shaping the discourse of sustainability from here to come. Thank you very much. So who do I leave the floor?
I think Glen's on the list first.
Glen is the next on the list, unless Albert wants to interject and say something, or otherwise I will move on to Glen. Please, this wants to also be a discussion, an interactive discussion. So if you want, in the meantime that we present or we talk, please put questions or comments in the chat, and maybe Sally you can distill some of these questions for later. Okay. Right. So if Professor Modi doesn't want to join in just yet, I will then introduce Professor Glen Wright. He's our current Dean and Head of the School of Engineering at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. He's graduated with a BSc in mechanical engineering and an MSc also in engineering and a PhD in engineering at the ex-University of Natal in the field of mechatronics, robotics, and advanced manufacturing systems. He's also the holder of the James Fulton Chair based in mechanical engineering since 2008. Graduated also with an MBA degree at UKZN in 2011. And as I said, is the current dean since 2018. So I gave you a very difficult school in 2018. I must also say that Glen was instrumental in ensuring the accreditation of the faculty of the School of Engineering with the Engineering Council of South Africa. So Glen, I believe that you and your team and us as a School of Engineering are really leading the way in South Africa and in the world with respect to the sustainability discourse. So my question to you is, what's next? What is the future, and how our school can in fact support the transition from traditional so the embedment, I would say, of the school of the department or program of environmental engineering. Do you see it as a future focus of our school?
So thank you to Christina, and hello everybody. Welcome to the webinar which Christina has welcomed you to, and to UKZN colleagues, friends, and students. You know, first of all, I just want to say happy birthday to Christina. I did look at your Facebook page, and by mistake, I did notice your age, but I just want to say well done on what you've achieved in such a short time.
Not a secret.
Other people can look at your Facebook page, so just well done and congratulations. And it's appropriate on this day that you've done this webinar, which is really great. So the School of Engineering thanks you for that, because every effort that is made to enhance the image and reputation of not only the school, but the college and the university, we are grateful for. Thank you for that. What I want to say is, you know, I feel a little bit guilty because, as it was mentioned in my bio, I'm actually a mechanical engineer. And mechanical engineers, they investigate and research the science of machines. And machines, I think, are some of the most detrimental pieces of equipment on the environment. And on climate change. So I feel a bit guilty because I've spent my many years researching machines, and we've been pouring pollution into the environment. And now to know that we must not do that, because we're always chasing efficiency and production and all that. But now, of course, the impact on climate change is obvious. And we really need to change our ways, and we are changing our ways. But luckily, as Christina said, I'm the dean as well. So I'll take off my mechanical hat and I'll put on my dean's hat. In that way, then I lead a number of disciplines, not only mechanical or civil, but all the others. But what I want to say a few words about today to the panel and to the esteemed colleagues, I want to talk a little bit about multidisciplinary engineering, because we certainly do live in a multidisciplinary engineering world in the fourth industrial revolution. And a simple example is just the motor vehicle, where we have the mechanical architecture, we have electronic control, we programming and software, we have the fuel, which is coming from the chemical, either fossil or electrical. We have, of course, agriculture, which could be the seed covers or etc. And of course, the civil engineers, which provide the roads and the buildings that we live in. But the impacts on the environment of what we're doing, you know, are there to see. And I think that we've got to be careful that, yes, we want to drive the multidisciplinary approach. And I was glad to see that some of Christina's graduates, one of them specifically, was a multidisciplinary engineer, that we've gone this way. We are multidisciplinary, we are integrated. But the effects of that is that now we're creating more machines, we're creating more equipment, etc. And this is having an impact on the climate and its impact on the waste sector. So it's a bit like a double-edged sword. On the one hand, we're driving productivity due to the multidisciplinary approach of engineering. But on the other hand, we are damaging the environment for our children and for the future people on the way we're behaving. So it definitely needs also a behavioral change amongst the engineers, not only in terms of, yes, we want to drive the latest technology and we want to have the most efficient and the most robust systems. But on the other hand, we want to have an environment for our children and the people who come after us to enjoy. So for me, very much multidisciplinary engineering is a hot topic, and that could be a topic of discussion going forward. So Christina, I want to leave it at that. I know the other speakers, I don't want to take all the time. I know what it's like being a dean, we can talk all day. But yeah, multidisciplinary engineering is just definitely something that we need to have a talk about. Thank you.
Are you trying to tell me that you miss my 4 hours meetings? There are certain deans that can speak longer than usual. I did tell them when they appointed me dean that I'm sorry, I'm Italian, I cannot be succinct. So I will move to the next speaker, who is Professor Neil Koorbanally. He is an organic chemist. He's currently our College Dean of Research for the College of Agriculture, Engineering and Science. He's an organic chemist by training and holds a PhD from the former University of Natal and a master cum laude in organic chemistry. I also won't say since when, so they will understand your age as well, Neil. So I keep quiet. He was a former Colenso Scholar at St. John's College in Cambridge in the United Kingdom in 2005 with research interest in the field of drug discovery, natural products and organic synthesis. He also sits on the editorial board of Natural Product Communications. Professor Koorbanally, as I said, is the current Dean of Research in the College of Agriculture, Engineering and Science, and he is responsible for the oversight of all research-related activity in the college. Neil, from your side, so when I invited all of you to present today, I said that to me it's very important that you bring a message to the former graduates and former students of UKZN and are currently alumni for what's next, how they can contribute to our research endeavor going forward, but also an important message, I would say, for the current students who are going to graduate soon, hopefully, particularly the new cohort of coursework master students that are really investing a lot, not only financially, but also a lot of expectations from the degrees that they will get from UKZN. So what is your point of view and what is your vision for the future for all of us?
No, thank you, Christina, and happy birthday today. I must say, you and I probably both started around the same time listening to your talk as well. So I think we both around 25 today, which is good. Thank you for giving me
also
this.
Your birthday?
No. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to address you at your 21-year virtual reunion. It's very nice being here. I'm going to start by saying that, masters and doctoral students are future leaders. And when you walk into a room of 100 people or 150 people and you look around you, you'll find that probably 5 out of that 100 people are going to be leaders. But just one of them is going to be a leader that makes an impact. And definitely, looking at what has transpired over the last 2 years with COVID-19 and the difficulties in our country, we're living in difficult times. And leaders have a great influence in society, a very great influence in society. And leaders, there's a saying that says that leaders are not, made, they are born. And I'm going to go so far as to say that leaders are born from groups such as these. And when we look around our university and we look around our research groups, definitely, I can see them in Christina's research group, looking at the people here and where they've gone and what they've become, and looking at my own students and where they are now. We make leaders at UKZN, and they are born here at UKZN when they're doing their future research. So it's very, very important. And, students
generally when they get their degrees, they're in two minds. Should I continue with my master's, or should I stay, go out into the work world? What do I do? And I think it's just at the time where you realize that, do you want to make an impact in the world? Do you want to be someone who influences others? Do you want to influence society and how they live their lives? And I want to leave you, to say that when you are deciding, you need to take that, probably that stance. I want to be a leader, I want to make a difference, and I'm going to make an impact in this world. Now, going green is the new buzzword. If you looked at the 20th century, there were other buzzwords, and there were many buzzwords around the 20th century. In the 21st century, everyone is looking to go green. I'm just like Glen said earlier, I'm an organic chemist. So I'm just interested in making molecules that can be our future drugs. And we don't really look at the environment. We don't really see what impact we're having on the environment when we make these drugs. I get very excited when we make something and I get a spectrum and I'm able to interpret it. But very seldom do I think about the liters and kiloliters of organic solvents that I use to produce 20 milligrams of a single compound. And it's something that I've become more and more afraid with and more sensitive to in the last couple of years. When we're looking at all this climate change taking place and seeing how environment is not going to be sustainable going forward. So definitely green is the new buzzword. It's also important that we are very responsible when we take actions and make sure that we do our research and do it responsibly. Not just think about our own interests and our own gains, but think about where we're going to leave the world, for our next generation and for generations to come. And I think, doing our research and being involved in our masters and PhDs, we need to take note of this and how can we actually change the world for the good. And when we study and we do our undergraduate degrees, there's not much creativity taking place. We generally learn what we be being taught. And when we enter the research arena, and Christina will tell you this, and Glen will tell you this, and many others will tell you this, that research needs creativity. And with that creativity, we give you the expertise of how to become a scientist, how to become an engineer. But that creativity generally doesn't come from myself or Christina or anybody else. It comes from the young minds. Generally, you see things differently to how we see things. I mean, many years ago, I was a young aspiring scientist and, I had my own ideas and I was going to run with them. And it's very, very good to see that we have the young scientists. And I saw the video and it was very heartwarming to see the nice messages in the videos and to see that, they've actually had their own ideas and they're making a difference in the world. So very well done to you. I think, going forward for this particular group, you're very, very topical. You're working on things, how to conserve natural resources, protecting the global ecosystems. When you supply water, what happens to that water? You're using it and you're converting it into waste and not just, forgetting about it, looking at ways in which you can harness this waste, probably convert it to something else, use it for different sources, make maximum use of it as possible. Water, electricity, dealing with the waste, making materials are things that we take for granted these days, but we have to look at the processes that we use to do all of these things. And scientists sometimes ask the very difficult questions, questions that normal people don't really ask. And, when I say normal people, I normally get, into troubles for saying normal people, but generally when you're a scientist and an engineer, you see the world differently. And you ask those questions. And moreover, what we do as scientists and engineers is that we find answers to these. And generally, we don't find the answers alone. And, in Christina's last few slides, I'm very happy to see that she had very, very many collaborators and very, very many industries and people supporting her research, because we have to work together in order to get these answers to those questions. So Christina, congratulations again and to your group for doing what they have done over the years. When I look at words to describe this group and to describe your research, I think of a few. Three that come to mind is energy, enthusiasm, and dynamic work. And I can see that exuding through your group. Your work is being spread across several scientific areas and, the new buzzwords in our college now is multidisciplinary and transdisciplinary. And your group epitomizes multidisciplinary and transdisciplinary. So very well done. And just to leave you with a parting shot, you know, part of our job as professors is to teach students not only the techniques and the expertise, but we have to teach students how to think independently and become problem solvers of their own. So I want to leave you with that, Christina, and thank you again for inviting me here.
Okay, thank you, thank you. In fact, I'm very proud of the fact that over the years, despite the fact that we were offering masters or PhDs in engineering, so quite challenging to non-engineers, we've been able to attract many. So of the 120 odd students that have graduated so far, or they are currently in our groups, in our programs, I would say a good 50% probably are chemists, so scientists, biologists, physicists. We had people from social science, health science, architecture. I even had an historian joining our group, was an exchange student from also from Cambridge. So a very from humanities, we had, and we currently have students that are really multidisciplinary from many disciplines. And that's great because number one, keep us engineers grounded and our head doesn't, they make sure that we don't brag too much. And most importantly, give us new ways of tackling the problem. And that is maybe the message, an important message that I wanted to take from what you just said, Neil. Maximizing the opportunities for interdisciplinarity and for interaction among disciplines, not with a sense of, you know, I'm not a biologist, I'm not a medical doctor, so I cannot talk your language. It doesn't matter, even if I'm an example of the fact that even if you don't speak the language, you can be understood in a way, or make yourself understood. So that is important. All right, so the next person is, if I can move to the next speaker, it's my pleasure to have Dr. Makobetsa Khati, representing the National Research Foundation. The National Research Foundation has been over the years, and of course more recently since I became SARChI Chair, the most important and strongest partner of our and support of our work, and of course in its institutional capacity as Executive Director of the Research Chairs and Centers of Excellence and the Excellence Directorate at the National Research Foundation. Dr. Makobetsa Khati really was asked to represent the NRF and to tell us how the NRF can, in fact, seize this type of research going forward, and what is the vision for the NRF with respect to shaping the discourse on sustainability. But let me introduce him first. As I said, Dr. Makobetsa Khati is the Executive Director of the Research Chairs and Centers of Excellence Directorate at the NRF, and an honorary associate professor in the Department of Medicine at the University of Cape Town. He holds several degrees, including a master's in molecular medicine from the Imperial College London, and a doctorate in molecular and cellular pathology from the Sir William Dunn School of Pathology at the University of Oxford, and a Master's of Public Health degree in MPhil in Health Economics and Epidemiology from UCT. Dr. Makobetsa Khati has returned to South Africa in 2004 as a Wellcome Trust and MRC International Research Fellow at the Institute of Infectious Diseases and Molecular Medicine at UCT. Prior to joining the NRF, he spent 10 years at the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research in South Africa, the CSR. Makobetsa has supervised over a dozen master's and PhD students to completion with publications and co-authored many publications with the students and as lead authors. So it's really an honor to have you here, Makobetsa. I apologize for introducing you as the CEO of the NRF earlier in our video, again, it's a pleasure to meet you, and we now are moving from science and engineering, so natural science and engineering to medicine. So it's really a pleasure to have you here, and we would like to hear from you about how you are shaping and how NRF, in fact, and the center, the Directorate for Research Chairs is interpreting the discourse on sustainability going forwards in terms of priorities, in terms of vision. So give us some guidelines.
Thanks, Christina. Apology accepted. In fact, there was a last-minute replacement for Folufelo, the CEO. Maybe I should first start by acknowledging Professor Albert Moji, the Deputy Vice Chancellor and Head of Colleges of Agriculture. Christina, you, happy birthday. I must also acknowledge your current and erstwhile students. Acknowledge the technical host, Dr. Sally Frost, members of UKZN in general, members of the College of Agriculture, Engineering and Science in particular. On behalf of the National Research Foundation, I am indeed honored to grace the UKZN Environmental Engineering 21-year virtual reunion. My heartfelt felicitations to you, Christina, for this momentous achievement. It is a milestone in your career and in the field of environmental engineering, which you introduced 21 years ago to UKZN. By the way, Christina has just already mentioned, she has been since 2018 a DSI NRF CSIR South African Research Chair in Waste and Climate Change. Perhaps I should just provide a contextual background of what SARChI, as we call it, is. SARChI, which is an abbreviation for the South African Research Chairs Initiative, is a strategic response by the South African government to address the challenges of developing high-level research skills for the national system of innovation. This initiative is a program of public universities, science councils, national facilities, and other public research entities. It is designed to strengthen the academic leadership and the scientific research base of South Africa in a way that supports the implementation of key national strategies. The main objectives are to expand the scientific research and innovation capacity of South Africa, to improve South Africa's international research and innovation competitiveness while responding to social and economic challenges of the country. It is aimed at attracting and retaining researchers, excellent researchers and scientists, also to create career pathways for highly skilled, high quality, and mid-career researchers. To strengthen and improve research and innovation capacities of universities for producing high quality postgraduate student research and innovation outputs. Given the aforementioned objectives of SARChI, I believe that Professor Trois indeed delivered in the true spirit of the SARChI. So now bringing the message closer to home, how do we shape the discourse of environmental sustainability? Let me pause and ask another question. What is sustainability? The 1987 World Commission on Environment and Development, Our Common Future, which was chaired by the former Norwegian Prime Minister Harlem Brundtland, defined sustainability as meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. This definition of sustainability is sensible, still relevant today, and everybody can easily subscribe to it. It hinges on the 5 Ps: people, prosperity, peace, partnership, and planet. Planet is about protecting our environment and natural resources for future generations. The discourse on environmental sustainability at a global stage is shaped by the 17 SDGs. And Christina did allude to some of them, which include SDG number 1, on poverty, number 6, on clean water and sanitation, and so on. She has also alluded to the National Developmental Plan, Vision 2030, which aspires for a need to transition to a low-carbon economy. Similarly, the Decadal Plan, which is an implementation vehicle for the White Paper on Science, Technology, and Innovation, also advocates for, as one of the 7 STI domains, a transition to circular economy. I hope and I believe that you all know what circular economy is. I will not unpack it. If you got to know it better than I do as a medical scientist. As environmental engineers, you have a blueprint of what needs to be done in order to address some of the intractable challenges faced by South Africa, the African continent, and the world at large. As environmental engineers, there are opportunities to build agile, equitable partnerships that can rapidly respond to complex problems and natural disasters at any time. A case in point is the current COVID-19 pandemic. And the lesson learned and successes made in combating COVID-19 is that there is a need for a quadruple helix of partnerships between national and international governments, universities, business and industry, as well as the private sector in general, as well as communities and civil society in general. Universities and researchers in particular should reposition themselves more strongly and visibly as key drivers of agents of change. Research from the NRF perspective, we see it as the former speaker alluded to, predicated upon creativity and innovation, including fully embracing relevant aspects of cross-cutting technologies such as the 4th Industrial Revolution. Doing research also requires multiple trends that seek to address the disruptions and crises that our society and the world face. There should be a careful calibration that transcends disciplinary-based research to multi, inter, and transdisciplinary research of what has been collectively coined pluridisciplinary research aimed at addressing complex challenges caused by the age of disruptions. In short, we now need to be much more deliberate and add a sense of agency to dismantling disciplinary silos, boundaries, and borders. Societal problems and challenges do not come neatly packaged to fit into disciplinary thinking. Thinking beyond disciplines requires to be much more communicative about why and what research we do and how research responds to societal challenges. We have to be much more explicit about the relevance of our research without compromising on rigor, quality, and excellence. In addition to publishing our research findings in peer-reviewed journals, which are generally tailored for a site-specific fraternity, researchers also need to translate and simplify important messages so that they can be clearly communicated to common citizens and the general public. One of the effective or prerequisites of the effectively functioning national system of innovation is a society that is aware of the value and potential dangers and challenges of science. It's about a society that is able to evaluate the product of science, uses the process of science in its daily life, and engages in debate on science-related matters of public interest. I must overemphasize for researchers to be encouraged and supported to meaningfully engage with various stakeholders throughout the research process. Knowledge is a product of social collaboration and should thus be owned by and placed in the service of the community. In the context of transdisciplinary 10, we need to reimagine international collaborations, partnerships, and global engagement. In terms of international and global research engagements, we need to rethink the movement of students. This includes student exchanges. We might want to develop joint degrees, especially at doctoral level, instead of a one-way movement to the global north. And I was quite chuffed to see that one of the slides that Christina showed, that actually there is movement from both the north and the south. Reimagining universities and research in general, including environmental engineering, will be incomplete without addressing financial challenges. University and research funding has, for decades, been in decline, while students' numbers have been on the rise. As universities reposition and renew themselves to produce graduates who are well-educated and possess skills that are responsive to the changing world of work and knowledge that is much more aligned to addressing local and global challenges, governments in the private sector should increase funding so that they can meet these demands. Over and above limited funding from government and the private sector, there are many opportunities for universities to diversify and increase their income streams through concerted fundraising efforts from ethical donors, philanthropists, and alumni of the university across the world. All those alumni from environmental engineering that Christina produced need to have a conscience to be able to also plow back in meaningful ways that can help sustain the field of environmental engineering. As part of diversifying and growing sustainable income streams, university can establish university-owned enterprises, such as spin-out companies from intellectual properties and technologies developed by the university, which have so many opportunities. All we need is a vision to see them and a fortitude to seize them as well. In addition to all those opportunities that I alluded to, it is beyond a shadow of doubt that the South African Research Chairs Initiative remains a critical catalyst in accelerating capacity building and human resource development across all disciplines, including environmental engineering. In addressing the need for skilled human resources to drive the economy of South Africa, the NRF will continue to use this initiative, SARChI, as one of the vehicles to deliver high-quality postgraduate students and postdoctoral fellows who are globally competitive. The NRF, in addition, will continue to diversify and secure more resources to grow the SARChI to be a force that can be reckoned with within the national system of innovation. And on that optimistic and encouraging closing remark, I will stop and thank everybody for the opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Makobetsa. You said something extremely important to us. So if I can kind of follow up quickly on your words, I think that we have with this presentation, and I'm sure you are reassured of the fact that our graduates at UKZN, and not of course only my graduates, but in general our graduates and our postdocs in particular, are really of global, you said the global standards. So you used this word, and they are in some cases making the difference in South Africa, but they are certainly making the difference everywhere in the world. So it's for once we are right in our south-north narratives, not north-south narratives. And I think we will continue very strongly for many, many, many years to come. The other point that I'd like to pick up is from when you said about the exchange program supported by SARChI, but also by the NRF in general, to really motivate students or facilitate knowledge transfer for our students. And that will, I would like to use this opportunity, in fact, to introduce the next speaker, who is Dr. Pierguido Sarti, because it links up with the important role that programs like, for example, ISARP, Italy-South African Research Program, programs of NRF that support mobility of our students are playing to really facilitate as well as foster high quality research. Among my students, a very large number of these students and collaborators have been over the years kind of imported from Italy, thanks to, number one, a very strong collaboration with my colleagues and friends from Italian universities, and particularly from the University of Cagliari. So I'd like to acknowledge my friend and collaborator for many, many years, Professor Aldo Montoni, who is the leader of a research group in environmental engineering and has also been my own professor a few years back. So I think, Aldo, if you are still in the meeting, please show yourself.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Embarrassing, Christina. You are too.
Thanks to you.
It was a pleasure for me to work with you, of course.
So Aldo, thanks to you, over the years you sent, and our research projects, a lot of students have come from Italy. And particularly from our hometown, the University of Cagliari, in the beautiful island of Sardinia. So some of the students, as you know, have remained in South Africa, and like Dr. Claudia Lloyd, for example, are currently academics here in South Africa. So they also have made South Africa their home. This, I must say, would have not been possible without the support of the NRF through programs, as I said, ISARP, but most importantly, without the support of the Italian Embassy to South Africa here in Pretoria. And in fact, I must acknowledge the really vision, say, forward vision of Dr. Pierguido Sarti, our next speaker, who has, over the years, and particularly from 2015, started a platform of collaboration, or supported a platform of collaboration between Italian universities and South African universities, specifically in the field of or in the nexus water, waste, energy for a sustainable future. Dr. Pierguido Sarti is, let me introduce him properly, holds a degree, is currently the scientific attaché at the Italian Embassy to South Africa in Pretoria. He holds a degree in physics and a PhD in geophysical sciences at the University of Bologna. From 2001, he is also a researcher at the Italian National Institute of Astrophysics. He is an expert in geospatial and terrestrial data analysis, radio astronomy, and he was also involved in 2 research missions in Antarctic. Since March 2015, he is scientific attaché at the Italian Embassy to South Africa. Also, he is the mastermind behind the creation of 2 very important networks of scientists Italian scientists in South Africa, the NIRNEP and I think NIRNEP and the other one I don't remember, but is northern part of South Africa and the southern part of South Africa. This network is also a platform of engagement among our scientists and also fits into the national database of scientists. So you imagine the ripple effect of having this kind of platforms of collaborations. Each one of us has an incredible network of collaborators in Italy, but also around the world. So really the impact is immense. And it's also nice to export some of our culture or the Italian culture and kind of help in this interdisciplinarity and multidisciplinarity of doing research. So I would like Pierguido to join in. Here you are. So Pier.
Thank you very much, Cristina. Buon compleanno, happy birthday.
Grazie.
On my behalf, as a friend, as the Science and Technology Attache, and I also want to bring you the best wishes of the ambassador, who could not be here with us today, but really asked me the personal favor to represent to you his best wishes and his esteem. I had, when I arrived to South Africa, as Cristina mentioned, in 2015, so I had the immense luck to meet Cristina as one of the very first Italian researchers here, because, and I say the immense luck because she really opened a world into the Italian research community in South Africa, which is Italian by nationality, but it is South African with respect to all other aspects, because the Italian researchers are here in South Africa are definitely South African researchers. They are well positioned in South African research institutions, universities, and I was quite surprised to start this work on trying to find out how many they were. Cristina helped me a lot, especially for to create the database that she correctly mentioned before, the NIRNEP, which is the database and the community of researchers of the northern provinces, let's call them like that. While the other one, the other network is NIRC, which is a network of Italian researchers in the Cape. And yeah, I was very lucky to meet her. We worked quite closely together. Actually, she was one of the first researchers, professors I met. I went to Durban and she really introduced me. She organized a meeting for me, trying to make sure that I could meet the largest number of researchers in the area of KwaZulu-Natal at her university, but not only. So she always served as really a point of contact without sparing any energy. And what I must say about Cristina is that we always were able to mix the professional part of our activity with another part, which is also very important because it makes it much, much easier, which is friendship. So we like each other as friends, but also we esteem each other as professionals and colleagues. And so I went to Durban in 2015. I had the opportunity to meet Christina. At that time, I remember I met Vittorio, Claudia, and other Alessio, all the people that were working with the Italians that were working with her in her group. And that was a fantastic, really fantastic personal experience. Since then, we never stopped basically working together and being in touch. And the reasons are manifold, I would say. One of them, which I want to mention immediately, and Christina spoke about it, is the fact that the Italian embassy is managing, together with the National Research Foundation, the ISARP, which is the Italy-South Africa Research Program. The program is basically the executive part of a long-lasting collaboration agreement that Italy and South Africa signed back in 1998. So it's really one of the oldest research agreements that were signed by South Africa with the European countries. Not the oldest, but one of the oldest, the older. And since then, we started always to do brainstorming on how to create opportunities that could be really of mutual interest. Because Christina, I always appreciated how much she is working for the University of UKZN and how involved she is in building opportunities for her student at UKZN, but also bringing into her work this international perspective that a person like her that graduated in Italy and so was educated in Italy and then has basically been working all her life abroad can bring. Full of energy, full of ideas, most of which we are trying to put into practice. And the first activity I want to mention within the ISARP framework is the one we are organizing. And Christina, I think we can invite everyone to take part if you have some free time on the 11th of December, because we are organizing a workshop on the nexus.
Of November.
November, what did I say?
December.
Okay, I'm already thinking about my holidays probably, but so 11th of November, and it's gonna be online, so it's easy to access, and we will definitely share the program, which is being shaped now as a collaboration between NRF, the Embassy, UKZN, and other universities like the University of Cagliari, the University of Bologna, and the University of Pretoria. So once again, it's on the nexus between water, energy, and waste. And this is the first activity. We also plan to show how important the activity was in the education and preparation of students. So there will be a part of the program which will be completely dedicated to the presentations of the students. And the day itself will be focused on two projects within ISARP, which are currently funded within ISARP. One is Christina's project, and the other one is a project on water and energy, which is whose PIs are Francesca Soavi of the University of Bologna and Ncholu Maniala, professor at the University of Pretoria. The embassy, anyway, has in its keeps sustainability, circular economy, very much into very much into focus, because these are areas we are very keen in promoting the bilateral cooperation with South Africa. And I want to mention 3 other programs that were meant to happen this year as workshops, but for obvious reasons, they have been postponed to next year. And partly it's also true for Christina, for what we are organizing with Christina, because we were actually thinking about having a workshop where people could meet, as we did in 2019. And obviously this is not possible. In 2019 with Christina, actually we organized, before I go into the details of the other 3 activities, we organized this workshop, which was, I would say, extremely well attended. And it was again focusing on these 2 projects which are funded by SARChI. And on that occasion, I want to stress the fact that Christina received honor, which is a honor from the President of the Italian Republic. And this is really how to stress how Italy considers Christina a brilliant and active researcher and an ambassador of science. And she has received the La Stella al Merito d'Italia. So she's a chevalier, how do you say, cavaliere?
I don't know, a knight, a dame.
Knight, that's correct. So you are a knight of the Italian Republic. Now, in order to, well, I want to tell you what the other activities that we are promoting are. One is an activity on circular economy in the wine sector. Why is that? Well, the wine sector is extremely important for Italy, who's the largest producer of wine in terms of quantities in the world. Italy has also the largest biodiversity, for example, in terms of grapes. And we have already cooperated with the Agricultural Research Council on wine technologies and enology. We organized a workshop in December 2019, before all this COVID thing happened, and the pandemic and all that happened after, I mean, from basically December, January 2020. And Italy has invested through the Ministry of Economic Development quite a considerable amount of money, almost 100 million euros, in promoting a model of circular economy in the wine sector. The major partner of the Ministry of Economic Development in this has been the cooperative Caviro, which connects thousands of small wine producers. And we felt that this was an excellent opportunity to exchange good practices that could make the production of wine more sustainable along all the value chain. I'm deeply convinced is of major interest for South Africa, who's the 7th producers of wine in the world, and for which also the wine industry is extremely important. So again, here we want to find mutual interests for both Italy and South Africa in having the opportunity to bring together researchers, producers, and entrepreneurs and get the best by the discussion that we are going to develop together with the ARC. Another activity that we are planning to do, this has been again in standby for quite a long time, because it's planned to be organized with another Italian researcher, which is Francesca Porri, that works at SIAB, and we really want to organize it as a physical meeting, not online, is on the sector of blue economy, and in the sector of, therefore, sustainability in the value chain related to blue economy. South African Institute for Aquatic Biodiversity is the main partner on the South African side, but there will be also Rhodes University, Nelson Mandela University, and so on. I must say, I don't know if I said and mentioned the number of Italian researchers currently in South Africa. Italian national, of course, researcher in South Africa. It's around 120. So it's one of the largest international communities. It's very important for us to make sure that these researchers can find opportunities to develop their activities, also funding their activities and funding the activities of Italian partners that can work with South African institutions. Most of the time, why not, with these South African researchers that have an Italian nationality. So blue economy, wine sector, and the last I want to mention is in general on circular economy intended as the reuse of products such as raw materials such as plastic, glass, metals, and our purpose is to bring together again those stakeholders in Italy and South Africa that are involved in these areas of activity, and give them the opportunity to share best practices, information, and why not also have the possibility to create projects and possibly joint ventures if we are able to involve entrepreneurs. That is basically it, Christina. I just presented those activities of the long list that deal with sustainability and in general circular economy, but there are of course many other activities that we are planning with South African partners that not necessarily are around this sustainability sector.
Okay, thank you very much, Pierguido. It's again a testimony of the fact that the embassy continue, and your office in particular, continue being a portal for exchange of communication and not only, in fact, also for opportunities of entrepreneurial opportunities among researchers and among professionals from Italy and not only from Italy, of course, with South Africa. So great, please continue working like that and continue using us and this network in particular that we have and this group of researchers and the professionals are at your disposal, because it's really a good channel between us and South Africa and Italy in particular, and Europe in general. Because the time is, so I would like to have still a good few minutes to give the floor to our students and to continue the discussion. I would like to proceed. I don't know if Sally, you have.
Karen Govender has just posted a comment. Karen, maybe would you like to unmute yourself and show yourself and just say your comment to all of us?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for your presentations and for the interesting feedback and information. I just had one quick question. So after finishing my degree in 2020, one of the goals that I had was to bridge the gap between research and industry, because there's so many times where in research we do such interesting topics and expose ourselves to so many interesting things, but there seems to be some kind of a mislink once we get into industry where we can't maybe put into practice what we've researched. So I just want to know if there's any advice or any thoughts on this and how to overcome that in some way.
I think that Makobetsa, Dr. Khati has alluded to the importance of spinning off the research from, for example, in our case at UKZN, we have an incubator called the UKZN Incubate that does precisely that, also assists students or researchers to find a link for and the bridge between between university and possible manufacturers or industry in general. So that kind of system already exists. So there are incubators in most universities across South Africa, and certainly in our one. Also, for example, if you look at the Italian embassy, the Italian embassy in South Africa has a link, a very strong link with the Italy-South African Chamber of Commerce that does precisely that. So creates opportunities for spinning off or creation of companies and so on from ideas of and from research. Maybe I can see Glen has you raised your hand. Go ahead, Glen.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks. My response would be, well, become an academic, because then you can research and enjoy what you want to do. And of course, you can give something back to society. But on a more serious note, you know, the CSR, there are research-led institutions as well, not only from the university. So, look, I think you've got to understand, you know, we're living in quite difficult economic times. So most manufacturers are not able to put their resources into research. They're trying to put it into production and to try and stay economically productive. So, you know, it's quite rare that you'd have a private industrial company involved in research. You know, Denel's another example where it would be a place where you could do research. But generally, there are government-funded institutions, or they've got government funding, which gives them the latitude to do research. So where there's government funding, there's often that opportunity to research. Where there's not, then it becomes more difficult. And the last one, you could, of course, go and join a Formula One team. You can do research on the Formula One cars, as we have some mechanical engineers, which Sally Frost can allude to.
Well, I must say, Kiuran studied how to use crumb rubber from plastic and from exhaust tires into green asphalt. It's true that, Neil, we have been green for many, many years, by the way, not only recently.
Very good.
Our complexion has been, is now going dark green, emerald green by now.
I can just add to the conversation as well. I think one of the bigger parts is that, you know, when students graduate with their degrees and go out and work into industry, they must keep in mind that a certain amount of research must be done to keep your products topical and to keep your products current. Otherwise, your industries are not going to be sustainable. I mean, if you look at the telephone now, and if you look at, I think telecom's almost becoming obsolete if they don't go by way of, you know, the cellular route. So I think, you know, research has to be done in industries. And you find more and more the big companies do research and the small companies concentrate on their profits and their 1 or 2 products that they make. But in order to get bigger and larger and to make much more money, you're going to have to do a little bit of research. And when you go out and get jobs in industry, you know, maybe you can bridge that gap that you see.
Yeah, if I can also come in and advise, I think one of the, especially now that I suppose you're in KZN, I'm not sure if you're aware of the KwaZulu-Natal Regional Office of Technology Transfer, the KZN OTT, and I think the offices are in actually your university. That could be the starting point if you could have a conversation with the regional manager. I think it's Charlotte Mashaba. And in the past, the NRF used to have what we call THRIP, Technology and Human Resources for Industry program, in partnership with the DTI, but the program is still migrated to the DTI. That could be another funding instrument that you may look into that can assist in bridging the gap between university and industry. And we are also in the process of establishing a similar program because our mandate has now shifted more towards innovation. And we should, in the fullness of time, come up with other instrument that will bridge that gap. Thanks.
Yes, in fact, KZN ROT is very active with us, and particularly, so the Charlotte is currently working together with the UKZN Incubate. So they have a span off a number of projects. I can see Sally is also, you raised your hand, go ahead.
Yes, Christina, just to pick up on a comment in the chat, Frederick Coulon says, great work, so much achieved, and a pleasure to see what your students have achieved. Let's keep our connection active, and I look forward for new opportunities. I'd just like to put on my college alumni hat here, and just to say, one of the purposes of today's 21st reunion was to get an alumni network going with your students and the college. So from my office, what we'll do after this meeting is to circulate a mailing list and get a Facebook page going so that everyone can connect and we can keep that network alive and put people in touch with the alumni office. So just to pick up on that comment.
Yeah, that's great. And in fact, that also will assist in creating not only exchange opportunities, but also opportunities for possible collaboration, professional collaboration, and maybe even the creation of a new companies. I don't know. I mean, why not? Yes, thanks, Sally. Thank you very much. That it was my next thing to say. We also would like to ask all of the alumni to make yourself available for short courses, for contributing towards the coursework master. I have already a number of colleagues that and former students, former graduates, sorry, that teach and lecture in our coursework master, and it would be fantastic for all of you to participate and address or present master classes to our students. We do short courses, we do summer schools, and also, of course, normal lectures in the coursework master. So please come back to us, give back to us in that sense. So seminars definitely is one way. The Facebook page or social network will be another way to remain in contact. We were also thinking of creating a newsletter, our own specific, obviously, e-letter. And the video of this seminar, as well as webinar, as well as the previous video that you saw, is already been linked up to downloaded to YouTube. And also maybe one day we will have our own YouTube channel where we can create a more interactive portal and a proper website for us. I think it's important that we don't just lose connection, as I said, and we try to support each other as much as possible. I would like to ask that you, just for the kind of closing remarks, it would be nice to hear from all of you, and most importantly, I would like to see your face, because at the moment I see only one or two faces, Neil and Claudia, and Sally now. So it would be really nice if all of you could show your face.
Nice to see you again.
I want, yes,
Christina. Yeah, me see you.
So from everywhere in the world, really. I can see Vincent from Cape Town, Claudia from Italy, South Africa. Let's say, okay, Pierguido is here in South Africa, Italy, Andrea, Italy, Priya,
yes, Christina,
Durban.
Maybe this is my chance to interrupt you now.
Here, Albert, here, I can see you now. Sorry, I missed you.
Yes, before you close, it's really a great opportunity for us as academics to get a moment like this, not to just say happy birthday to you. It was a great day when you were born. It's a very, very good day for us now that we have to celebrate your successes as South Africans. So congratulations on your birth and well done on assisting UKZN. Congratulations to all your students for the great job that they've done. I really would like to thank Dr. Khati and Dr. Sati for their very encouraging words. In fact, they shared some very good information, which I think as a university we are going to use and remember, not only for your center, but for the college and the university at large. As a university, particularly as the leadership of the university, we encourage staff to do these sort of things. And people think that they should go the route of asking for the permission of a certain leader. We like people like you, Christina, to just think about it, go for it, and it becomes a success. Sometimes it's not going to become a success. That's what a scientist is all about. You try things. I'm sure you've had so many papers of yours that were rejected, right? And yet here you are, they were rejected, and then in the end they were published. So please, you set a very good tone for other SARChI chairs. We would like to congratulate you as a university, and I'm sure there are many, many, many other areas where you're going to contribute. Please don't be limited to your center, as you indicated, and I really liked your attitude that you are happy to work with people coming from any discipline, not only within the college, also from outside the college, as well as the industry. I wonder whether the students know how much they've contributed to the university. You know, as a college leader, there are two questions that I've always have to answer. What is your contribution to the university financially? What is your contribution to the university strategically? And those two need to correlate and meet at the right point. When you've got one on the x-axis and the other one on the y-axis. These students, I want them to know that they've made a huge contribution to the university, but I'm afraid I will never ever tell you how much money you've brought to the university just by graduating, and forget about the number of publications that you've produced. And as Dr. Khati said, the most wonderful thing about your publications is that they are used by the world to solve real world problems, real life problems. So yeah, we really would like to thank you very much. And I want to thank everybody for joining Christina today, and I'm sure we'll continue to be your friends forever.
Thank you. Thanks, Albert. You are saying that I'm a rebel. Yes, it's true. I am a rebel, but I think that our motto and the motto of all our students, I think over the years, has always been fortune favors the brave. I said that from the very beginning. And I continue saying, and I think that this is a testimony, all of these students, all these graduates, no matter how I ended up in life in terms of academia or profession or even a different profession, they have been really brave. And I think that it's great that you said, Albert, I don't know if they understand how much they have contributed and how much they are contributing, not only about the general discourse on sustainability, but in changing the worlds around them and providing impact to the community around them. So I don't know, maybe this is also an opportunity for them to self-reflect about their own impact, and hope that this chat today was about creating a new motivation. You certainly have been my motivation for so many years, all of you. Continue being, and you will be for many years to come, I'm sure. But in a way, I feed out of, and that's why I wanted this reunion today. Not only to celebrate my birthday or my greatness and so on. That's not important to me. What is important to me is that you are inspiring my work, and I hope that the opposite, I think, is clear, that we have also been inspiring your work. So last word, I think, should be from you, all of you. I know we have about less than 10 minutes to closure, and Sally is already frantically worried that we will be going too late. But let's hear from you, starting from Claudia. I can see from the top. First word, last word, actually.
Well, I just want to say thank you, everyone, for coming today. It was so nice to see you all here, and I have so many memories I cannot tell. I mean, it's incredible, and all of this is thanks to Christina, because even myself included, if it was not for Christina, I wouldn't be here in Durban since 10 years. So thank you for importing me. And yeah, and I really hope that we will be able to continue this collaboration, which has been great and very beneficial, not only for for all the students and for us, but also I really believe that it still has a fantastic impact on the community. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you soon, actually in person. I hug you. Bye-bye.
And I would like to give the space to Jared, who has not been able to speak earlier in the video.
Okay, thank you so much, Prof. And then I want to say happy birthday. And then this workshop is really amazing. And then the opportunity for us to see the former students and then now what they are doing. So it's inspiring for us as well, for the current students. So I'm very grateful, and then I'm very happy to be in this workshop. And thank you so much.
Thanks, Jared. So Jared from Ethiopia, Claudia from Italy. I can see Alessio. Alessio, be careful because you're driving. What's happening?
Hello. Ciao, Prof. Happy birthday, first of all. Thank you for inviting me. Yes, it's right. I'm driving and coming back at work in the office, actually. But for me, it was a great opportunity to join this meeting. And it was also a pleasure to see again Dr. Pierguido Sarti. And he also remembered the meeting that we had at that time in 2016. And I would like to thank you, Prof, of course, because When I arrived in South Africa, I was thinking that I was partially expert in wastewater treatment. And when I left, I was a person with such more knowledge in not only wastewater treatment research, but also in waste management. And I like to thank you because right now I'm working for a waste management company, and the experience that I had with you is helping me a lot at the moment. So thank you for 3 years spent with you, Claudia, Vittorio, and all the other people. And I must be honest, I'm missing you so much.
We miss you too. So, you know, Neil, all of these students have one problem. They have gone from, they've come here thinking that they were going to do clean air, clean water. And then by signing up with me, they signed to get to the dark side. So they came into the dark side of waste management.
They got their hands dirty. Yeah.
They got their hands very dirty. Very dirty. I remember, I can see Yemizi, she's joining us from Canada, originally from Nigeria, if I remember well, Yemizi, and now she's in Ontario. And she, and at that time she was doing master with another student that unfortunately couldn't join us, Miranda. I don't know if you remember Yemizi, and she was from Ghana. And when I took them first time to lymphocyte or to the laboratory, and they saw what doing waste management was all about, I could see people crying, and they probably thought, oh, what am I doing? What am I going to do now? But
that is so true.
I can see Fatima over there as well. I know what you're thinking, my dear Fatima.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to say happy birthday, Professor Christina. Yeah, it was a marvelous time I had. And like the other contributors said, it's very good what we are doing right now, even though it looks like a start. I'm looking forward to the collaboration because there's still so much more that we can do together. And it's so amazing that my time with you taught me a lot about analysis, and that was the foundation that has kept me going, even though I am no longer in environmental, but I'm still in the industry of sustainability. So it's nice to see you again and everyone.
Yes, 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 absolutely. And I don't know who else. There are lots of new students as well. Many new students I can see. Some students that are completing. I can see Antonio is completing his PhD. You know what will happen now? Everyone that has seen the beautiful pictures of Sardinia will want to come and join Professor Muntoni in this group at the University of Cagliari, and that they have seen how beautiful Sardinia is. We, over the years, have also imported many students, but also sent many students to Sardinia to either follow conferences or doing internships. In fact, Kieran, for example, you went a couple of months, I think you were in Sardinia, right?
Yes, that's right. Kieran and myself, we were blessed to go out there. While I have the floor, I just want to say happy birthday. But also, I hear so many thank yous from everyone, and it's a real testament to the impact that you've had on our lives. So thank you for that, and maybe 21 more years or even more in environmental engineering for yourself and many of us as well.
Yes, people are still asking what I get out of going to a landfill site. You know, the new generation, the new work we are doing, I'm no longer going actively shoveling waste into landfills. I've done my days, those days are gone, fortunately. I get you guys to shovel waste on landfill sites. But we are now looking at landfills from the sky. So a lot of the new generation or the next generation of our work as a group, as a research group, is really employing a lot of remote sensing and studying the use of remote sensing for, in fact, in every aspect of sustainability, including decision making. And in particular, I'd like to acknowledge the work that we are doing with the ocean cleanup for the plastic pollution in the Ungaini River, again, using different levels of remote sensing, or other, or the important collaboration that I've just established with the South African National Space Agency for looking at these terrible super emitters of greenhouse gas emissions that are our landfill sites and our disposal dumps. Employing geophysical and in fact satellite images to detect how much greenhouse gas emissions the super emitters. And I can see the next generation of environmental engineers in front of us. Claudia is showing the new generation of and impact, in fact, that our work has had on changing Claudia's job, Claudia's world. So I hope that, Claudia, next time we'll see Carl showing when I grow up, I want to become an engineer at UKZN.
I hope not, but no, I'm joking. I'm joking. Sorry.
No, don't worry. And so Kiyuran, as you see, your brother in crime has now gone to Cape Town and is working on smart mobility.
Yes, Prof. So I've unmuted my mic because you've also given me an opportunity to speak here. So first, I'd just like to wish you a very happy birthday, and just also to give you a big thank you for everything you've done for me during the course of my degree and my career, and kind of giving me the space to be creative and to come up with my own ideas that other people might have thought is too risky or it's not civil engineering. Like if I had taken my research topic to anyone else and said, I wanted to look at biogas production from wastewater treatment and link that to sustainable public transport in eThekwini, people would have thought, you're crazy. How are you linking waste to sustainable mobility? But yeah, you really gave me the space and the freedom to think creatively, find that link. And I think we produced a really good research at the end of that. And then just also in continuation of what Kieran was saying earlier about, we do all of this interesting research, and in industry, you're not always able to apply what you research. I think I'm one of the lucky few of my colleagues that I graduated with, where I can say the kind of company and startup that I work for, we really invest a lot in R&D and coming up with new ideas and, pushing the boundaries of what smart mobility is. And I think that's what's kind of missing, I would say across South Africa, but more so in eThekwini and KZN. There's no kind of environmental startup culture. And what I would like to say today is that each of us here on this alumni group of researchers, we all have the potential to become a future Elon Musk and to change the world. Every thesis that I've seen has the potential to be productized, to contribute some kind of economic value. And I think there's a lot of international funding that's available globally. And if we can find a way to kind of showcase better the research that we are producing, I really think we can produce some kind of a startup Savannah ecosystem in eThekwini or KZN, and really bring that funding that's required to start these startups in the environmental engineering field. And that's how we're going to bring change and kind of reindustrialize our country. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Yes,
on that.
I agree and support that. And hopefully the research group that we have here, with the help of UKZN Incubate, again, they've been always very supportive and fast forward to the future. We can create that group and that change. I like that. It's a great idea, and that is the type of fertile ground that I really like to see, and we wanted to achieve with this network. Things don't happen on their own, unfortunately. We need to really nurture the thought and nurture the ideas going forward. And I don't know, if you think each one of us, you might think that, you know, Neil, another thing that I remember, and it's a consideration that we made with Jonty and Aidan, my two first students. At the end of their journey, when they were about to graduate, at that time, of course, they were already kind of colleagues rather than just simply students. And they were already working in their own companies. And we said, we look at each other across the table during a conference, and we said, you know, there is one fundamental problem. These students that come out from environmental engineering, we have one common denominator, common feature. We are unemployable. And what they meant is not true that we are unemployable. We are unemployable in the sense that we cannot just end up in a corporate environment. We are unemployable in the sense that we really wanted to make our own journey. We want to play our own music. We are not people that will end up in an office or in a bank or something like that. Maybe we should, I don't know. But certainly I think that this is a common feature for people that in a way have the potential to become leaders in their own space. And again, those ones who have graduated many years back, some of them, all of them, in fact, are a testimony of that feature. So I don't know if it's good. Maybe we shouldn't say that we are unemployable, because it can be misunderstood, taken out of context. But
I think a PhD does that to you.
Yes, true. True, but it's not only that, it's actually the typology of people that,
yes.
And we've got people that are engineers who are working in a different space, or people that started as chemists and now they're working as engineers. So I think that kind of cross-pollination make us really unique. And you alluded to that during your speech. I like that.
Yes.
And then I don't know if you have noticed how many women there are in this group.
Yes, no, it's very nice to see that many women empowering other women as well, because the women serve as role models for other females to enter that space. So very well done to all the women here and yourself, Christina.
Thank you. Actually, the more I look at this group of people, the more I say, wow, impressive, very impressive. Guys, I think we need to go because Sally, otherwise she will be very upset with me. So I acknowledge all of you and I thank all of you. One last hi and goodbye to, I can see Uzair. Uzair, hi, you didn't join us, you didn't say a few words, but I remember you were always very, very serious. I mean, there are those ones that are, they are here to play, and Uzair was very grounded. Oh, he was the one grounding me all the time. So I acknowledge Aldo, Professor Muntoni from University of Cagliari. Ciao Aldo, caro, grazie di essere venuto.
Cristina, tanti auguri ancora. It was a pleasure to be here with you. It was a pleasure to listen what you say. And of course, I hope to cooperate more with your university and with South Africa in general. It's a beautiful country. Many years I'm going there. I don't remember the last year I was there, you know, but I want to come back.
Well, actually, you were the very first person that came from Italy to join us in year 2000, I think was your very first friend from Cagliari University. So the next round of the ISARP program hopefully will start from next year. This year, on the 11th of November, you are all invited for this final workshop between us and University of Cagliari, as well as Bologna and the University of Pretoria, these two ISARP projects. And we will have another webinar on the 11th of November on wastewater energy for a sustainable future. Again, another important event and webinar. So an opportunity to meet again on the 11th of November. Guys, really, I would not like to say goodbye because I am worried that we might see each other again in 21 years, and it's not a good idea. So let's make a plan that we will see each other again on the 11th of November. So join us, join us, and I will send you the link. And again, let's create this network as soon as possible and make it work, most importantly. Okay, even if it's just on the social side, as Pierguido said, Italians are very convivial, and certainly I am one of them. So I'm glad that over the years we've given you also a little bit of our culture of conviviality and shared your culture as well with us and learned from you. All right, so again, thanks everyone. Thanks to the guest speakers, Glen, Neil, Albert. Of course, thanks to Sally. Without you, this would have not been possible. And see you soon, everyone. Hopefully on the 11th of November, join us. Okay, thank you.
Cheers, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Goodbye,
Thanks,
everyone.
Christina.
Ciao.
Cheers, everyone.
Everybody.